Are you having trouble deciding which race to take? Do you have a hard time figuring out whether it's better to go on a training or go on a race? Well, don't worry, because I got a perfect tool for you. It's called Race Planner and Epithet Calculator. It's going to change how you play Trackblazer scenario. But before we go over the tool, these days I've been obsessed with playing Slay the Spire 2. However, you can only play this on a computer at the moment. But it's really hard to be stuck in front of the computer when you have two little kids, and Steam Deck is currently out of stock. Fortunately, with Stardesk, I'm able to play game like Slay the Spire 2 on the go on my phone. Stardesk is a powerful multi-platform remote desktop application that lets you stream your games like Marble Rival, Elden Ring, Resident Evil Requiem on the go with low latency and smooth gameplay. It has multi-platform support, highly rated on App Store and Google Play Store, respects your privacy, and is totally safe to use. Currently, Stardesk is in early access and is completely free to use. Try out Stardesk for free using the link in the description below. Race Planner and Epithet Calculator is a tool that Daptrius and I created that will help you during the Trackblazer scenario. First, we have the rotation template for every UMAs. For example, for these UMAs with mild, medium, and long aptitude, this is the recommended race schedule. With 33 race, you'll be able to get 270 Epithet random stat bonus. I also have a separate tab where I list out all the Epithet bonuses. Even if the UMA is not listed for this template, it's still possible to use this rotation template by modifying their aptitude using pink sparks. So this is the general rotation template that 90% of the UMAs can use. I also have a template for UMAs that can run both turf and dirt. Turf and dirt UMA focused on miles and medium distance. UMAs focused on medium and long distance only. UMAs focused on sprint and mile. A specific template for Taiki Shuttle and Summer Maruzenski. And these templates are based on a spreadsheet created by Nagi, a Korean UMA YouTuber, which is based on a schedule created by Umalabo. You can use the template just as is, or feel free to modify them to your liking. We also have a blank one where you can freely choose which race you want to go on, and it will calculate how much Epithet bonus you'll be getting. Now here are some examples on how you can utilize this tool. Over here we have a great wit training click available for us. However, on this day, we are originally scheduled to go out on a race to Spring State. By using the calculator, you can figure out exactly how much Epithet stat bonus that we're losing by choosing not to go on this race. In this case, although we'll be losing some stat for skipping this race won't have any effect for the Epithet stat bonus instead of going on a race. So if the training is good enough, you can choose to opt out and do a training instead. But unlike the G2 and G3 race, skipping G1 race is usually not a good option, especially for key race such as Sasaki-sho. As you can see, skipping this race will lower the amount of bonus stat that you can get by 80 stat points. And that's not even accounting for the stat point and skill point that you get from the race itself. So make sure you do not miss going out on these key G1 race. Here is another example. Over here, we have a scheduled race for Kisaragi-sho. However, this race does not come with the rival race, unlike Queen Cup below. Then even though Kisaragi-sho was originally what was scheduled for us to go on a race, we can use the Epithet calculator to see if changing to Queen's Cup instead will lower the amount of stat that you get from Epithet bonus. In this case, no, it won't change anything. So it's better to go on Queen's Cup instead for additional stat that you gain from racing a rival along with the skill hints that you could potentially get. After I finished recording, I found out that folks at Uma.Guide also made a race planner. And to tell you the truth, their version is much better than what we made. Now I feel bad for making Daptrius work on something that became obsolete even before I release it. Anyway, stuff that I mentioned on this video is still applicable. Just use the Uma.Guide agenda planner instead. You can still use my tool to get the race template by Ctrl F to look for the specific UMAs that you want, and just copy the race template into the Uma.Guide website. Uma.Guide is a great website. They also have a great guide for the Trackblazer scenario, so be sure to check them out. Still, Umacalculator.com is the only place where you can get accurate Carat calculator. If you appreciate all Daptrius' work on the Carat calculator and all the time that he wasted working on the race planner, please consider donating to his coffee. Link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a handsome day. Bye bye. And I would like to thank my contributors, Kia, Tao, Merkel, Cal the New, Teku, Brian Goldsberry, Burst, Jamin Taylor, Tama, and Groggle, Shady, Feed the Gizmore, and the rest of the contributors.